Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because today we're diving into one of the most surprising and valuable discoveries in American coin history. You might even have this coin sitting in a drawer, in an old coffee can, or tucked away in a jar you haven't touched in years. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a single penny the same way again. Now, let's take a trip back to 1982. Ronald Reagan was president, the price of gasoline was under $1, and the world was changing fast. In the middle of all that, something small but extraordinary happened, something that most people didn't even notice at the time. It involved one of the most ordinary coins in America, the Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin. For decades, the penny had been made mostly of copper. Since 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was introduced to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it carried with it a sense of pride and history. The copper penny had weight, a warm color, and a familiar sound when it hit the counter. But by the early 1980s, times were tough. The price of copper had climbed so high that the metal inside the penny was actually worth more than the penny itself. The U.S. Mint had a big problem on its hands. It was literally losing money making money.so. In 1982, the Mint made a bold decision that would change the penny forever. They switched from solid copper to a cheaper metal, zinc, with only a thin copper coating on the outside. But the transition wasn't smooth or simple. That year, both copper and zinc pennies were made, and not all of them were labeled or identified clearly. In total, the Mint produced 7 different variations of the 1982 penny, with subtle differences in weight, size of lettering, and composition. Now, here's where things get really interesting, because during that transitional year, some very rare mistakes slipped through. These are the kinds of minting errors that make coin collectors' hearts race. Some 1982 pennies were struck in the wrong metal. Others had design combinations that were never meant to exist. And a few, just a few, were made of solid copper when they were supposed to be zinc. Imagine that. The smallest mistake, the tiniest mix-up in a massive factory of machines, ends up creating something worth more than gold. Collectors today have confirmed that one specific version of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial cent, the one struck with the small date on a copper planchet, is among the rarest and most sought-after coins in U.S. history. This coin weighs about 3.11 grams instead of the 2.5 grams of the newer zinc version, and that's one of the easiest ways to tell the difference. You can even check it yourself with a small digital scale. The small date 1982 D-copper cent is the real treasure. For years, experts debated whether this coin even existed. But then, one day, a few sharp-eyed collectors began to notice something unusual in their change. Pennies that didn't sound right, didn't weigh the same, or looked slightly different under the light. One by one, these discoveries started adding up, and eventually, the truth came out. The rare 1982 D small date copper penny is one of those incredible mistakes that the Mint never intended to create. Only a handful are known to exist, and the odds of finding one are unbelievably small. But here's the thing, they're still out there. People find them in inherited coin jars, in pocket change, even in old piggy banks that haven't been opened in decades. Now, let's step back for a moment and think about what this penny represents. For many of us, the Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a piece of our own story. We grew up with it. We bought bubble gum, soda, and baseball cards with it. You might remember rolling up stacks of pennies with your parents, or cashing in a jar full of change at the bank to buy something special. The penny was part of everyday American life, a quiet witness to our work, our saving, and our dreams. And yet, out of all those billions of coins, one tiny mistake turned a simple penny into something worth a fortune. It's almost poetic, a symbol that even the smallest things, even the most overlooked, can hold hidden value. Collectors and experts continue to search for these rare 1982 varieties. Every once in a while, news breaks of a new discovery. A man cleaning out his father's old desk, a woman sorting her coin collection, or a kid using a magnifying glass to check the date on a coin. All of them with the same hope. Maybe this is the one that what makes it even more fascinating is that most of these rare coins were found by ordinary people, not professional collectors. People who just happened to pay attention, to look a little closer, and to recognize something special when they saw it. The next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a moment to look closely. Check the year, 1982. Look carefully at the date. Is it a large date or a small date? Does it feel a little heavier than usual? Because you might just be holding a piece of history that could change your life. The story of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin isn't just about metal and money. It's about time, memory, and the strange ways the past can surprise us. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious, that sometimes what seems ordinary can be extraordinary if we know where to look for that. So before you toss that old change jar or spin that handful of pennies sitting in your car's cup holder, give them a second look. Because among those simple brown coins, there could be one that tells a story worth more than you could ever imagine. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. The number that makes everyone sit up and take notice. One verified 1982 D-small date copper Lincoln Memorial cent has been valued at an astonishing $2 million. That's right. A coin that was worth just 1 cent when it left the mint has turned into a $2 million treasure. So take this as your reminder. Don't underestimate the power of a penny. History has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. Who knows? The next $1 million coin could be sitting right in your pocket. This coin, 1 cent 1982 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history.